So hello everyone, today we are going to see form tool command in sheet metal. This is the session 3 for sheet metal. Earlier we have seen all the basic commands such as base flange, edge flange, sketch bend, unfold, fold, flatten, extrude, cut and more. So today we are going to see forming tool operation. You can see here in the above tab. Forming operation, if you just keep the cursor on that, it will show the definition, that is uses the parts that act as a die to bend, stretch or otherwise form a sheet metal. Means we are going to make a simple part in part modeling, and then it will act as a die to bend the part, stretch the part or else to form the part in different shapes. So for that only forming tool is used. So we'll start with forming tool. We will manually make a tool here. I am saying it manually because there is a design library content also in which you can have a forming tool. But I have not added that add-ins while installation. That's why it is not showing me here forming tool option. But in design library also it is available. That's why I referred the word as we are going to make manually the forming tool. So to make the forming tool, I will switch my window to part modeling. Say part. And now in part modeling, we are going to see how to make this form tool. Suppose I want to make form tool as lowers, lances. So what are lowers and lances? So you can see here, these are lowers. This is double lower and this is single lower. For best example to understand lower is when you travel in a train, you can see there is a window like this, and on these windows, these projections are made. These are nothing but lowers. These are made for ventilation of the internal systems. So how to apply these lowers, how to make this lower, we are going to see in part modeling there. As well as you can see here, this shape is nothing but lances. These are opening. These are nothing but openings here in zigzag patterns. So you can make lowers and lances in forming tool. You can also make these bridges here. You can see these bridges are given here. Peak type bridge, radius bridge, tabletop bridge, special shape bridge, single bridge. We are going to see single bridge today. So this kinds of shape you can make directly on a part by using forming tool. So we'll start with forming tool. How to make the forming tool here? I'll go in part, and here I'll start with making lowers here first. I'll select the sketch front plane. We'll make one center rectangle here. I'm using front plane here. Now it doesn't matter which size of rectangle you require. You just need to consider that the size of rectangle shape we are taking here should be always more than the forming tool size. Thickness you can take as much you want. I'll take it 10 mm only. Say features, extrude boss. And now while extruding the part, I'll extrude it from mid plane here. Now the role of this part is nothing but to add fillet at the outer direction. For that only I have made this base part. Later I am going to delete this part. I'll take front plane here, say sketch. Front plane was lying in between the part, that's why I have taken front plane. Now we will make sketch to form lowers here. Take two lines perpendicular to each other with equal length. I'll say it 15 mm. The other size also 15. I'll say relation between them as equal relation between two lines. Now add one curve also here. I'll take 3-point arc. And we will provide the radius here also as 15 only. Now I have a complete fully defined sketch at mid of the body, that is on front plane. Now I'll make extrude boss here. We will extrude it till 40 mm from mid plane. Say OK. Next, I'll select this face here. Say sketch. And I'll select the face and say convert entities. Now these complete edges are converted to sketches. You can see a close entity is formed here. I'll use it for the feature revolve boss. I'll consider this line as an axis for revolve, and I'll take this angle as 90 degree here. Say it OK. And I'll mirror this portion at the other side also. So I'll take mid plane here. Say mirror command, features to require, and OK. Now this particular feature revolve is been mirrored at the other side also now, and our part is completed. but we have to keep in mind that we have to provide fillets at the edges. As this part is going to be punched in a sheet metal part, that time for the withdrawal of this part, these edges should be filleted in. If there is a sharp edge, the other part on which we are going to punch the forming tool may get damaged or may have cuts there. That's why we have to provide fillets here around the edges, and it is compulsory that we have to take fillet more than the thickness of the part on which we are going to apply the forming tool. Suppose I have taken this part, we have taken already the part here. So the thickness for this part was, I'll select this edge, it will show me the thickness here 1.5 mm. So I need to select the fillet size more than 1.5 mm for the forming tool. So I'll go for fillet option and select the edges. Fillet is coming around it, and the value for the fillet I'll take here as 3 mm. This 3 mm value has been taken for the fillet, and now you can see why I have made this surface, that this fillet should lie on the particular surface outside. If I would have not made this plate here, this fillet would have come at the internal side of the part. It would have not been concave shape, it would have been convex shape here. That's why I've taken this plate here so as to make this fillet in a convex shape. Say it OK. Now we will remove this plate here. So I'll select this face, say sketch, and I'll convert that all face here. Now you can see one rectangular sketch has been formed. Say features and extrude cut. I'll completely cut this part, say blind and through all. Only through all is needed there. And now you can see one lower shape part has been made here. Now we will move it to sheet metal tab. And here you are having option forming tool. Select the forming tool after making the part. Now we have to add stopping face. So stopping face is the face which is going to be attached on the sheet metal surface. So I'll consider this as the stopping face, and faces to remove I'll consider the bottom face here. We need to ventilate the air from this part, that's why we need to remove this face compulsorily here. I'll say it OK. Now this color codes will also indicate which phase is of stopping phase and which is to be removed. So red color will represent the faces to be removed, and sky blue color will represent the face to be stopped at the face, stopping phase. Still this part is in a part modeling format only. We have to change it to forming tool. So the upcoming step here is very important. For that we will go for save as option, and during save as option you have to change the save as type. Instead of SolidWorks part, I am going to select form tool here. The extension for form tool is given SLDFTP. We have to show the name, we have to save the name here. So I'll keep the name here as form 1 or form tool, and then show the part where we have to save this part. So I'll save it on desktop here. I'll go for desktop option, and on desktop only I'm going to save this part as a form tool name and type also as form tool. So this is very important that you should change the save type. Say save, and now this part is being saved as a form tool there. You can see on desktop the file will be shown in this format, a simple white page written as extension SLDFTP. Now next I'm going to go for the form tool option, and we are going to apply form tool on this part here. So to apply form tool, so here is the option at the right side. Select this file explorer option, and I'll go on desktop to browse. Here we have the name form tool and extension SLDFTP. The window will pop up and also show the appearance of that particular form tool. So I'll select the form tool and directly drag it on the part. Now you can see this form tool has been applied. We have given the stopping face, so it has been applied on the outer side here, and this form tool orientation is coming at the inner side here. So if you want to flip the orientation, I'll flip the orientation. Now stopping face will become this internal face, and the orientation will come at the outer side. So wherever the stopping face is, orientation will come at the opposite side only. Suppose I want to orient it at particular angle, I'll make it horizontal by giving the angle as 90 degrees here. So instead of 90, I'll give it 270 degrees. Now you can see the form tool has been placed. Now I want to position the form tool by giving dimension. For that I'm going to go for position. It is same like as an whole wizard command. So in hole wizard also we go in position and then position the hole. Same way we have to do it here also. Select the references, say 80 mm, and the other outer reference I will take it here as 60 mm. Now I have positioned this part here. I'll say it OK. And now one form tool is been applied here. You can see here this form tool is been applied. Now I want to pattern this form tool horizontally and vertically. For that I am going to go in Features tab. Select the linear pattern command. In direction 1, I'll keep this direction as 1 and this direction as 2. So for the references I have shown the edges here. Features to pattern, I am going to go and show forming tool here. You just put up the distance and number of entities you require. Here also in Y direction. Sorry, next direction. And then say it OK. So now this form tool has been applied here. You can see this was the removing phase for air to ventilate, and this was the stopping phase which has been applied at the internal phase here. So this fillet was must, and the value for the fillet should always be greater than the thickness. Compulsory you have to take this value in this format only, that fillet size should always be greater than the thickness given. Now next, again we will go for one more type of forming tool here. I'll say file, new and part. We'll go in part again. This time we are going to make bridge here. We have seen all the bridges here. So single bridge form type I am going to make here. This type of bridge. So we'll start here by making a part only. I select the top plane, say sketch, center rectangle. The base plate I am going to make here is only for the fillet, so as to apply the concave shape there, 200 mm. This base plate size should always be greater than the forming tool size. Whatever size you take doesn't matter. Say it OK. Again select the sketch and go for center rectangle here. Features and extrude boss. Features and extrude boss. I'll make this extrude boss straight. Say OK. I'll decrease this height here. I'll say 25 only here. Update the value. And now we will delete the corners. I'll draw one close profile here. For the inclination phase, I'm going to give the angle here. I'll say it 60 degrees. Features, extrude, cut. Through all cut I need here. I'll mirror this cut on the other side also. The tool we are going to make here is the bridge used as a form tool. Next, we need to apply fillets. So I'll take the fillet here as 2 mm or 3 mm. I'll take a little bit larger size. I'll take it as 5 mm. So fillet should be applied on these above corners and the below corners. All the 4 sides. It doesn't need to apply on the sides here. Say it OK. And now we'll remove this bottom plate, as we have taken this fillet in a convex shape. Just we needed the support for this fillet. That's why we have made this plate. We'll select this face and say sketch, convert entities, features and extrude cut. Cut I'll take through all here. And now the shape of the forming tool has been completed. I'll go in sheet metal, say forming tool. I'll show these as a stopping face and faces to remove. You can see the image here. So at the side faces are being removed here. I'll refer the side faces only for removing. So faces to remove, I'll add these faces, first and second one. And stopping face, I'll add this face here as a stopping face. Say it OK. Now this form tool has been made, but still is in a part modeling way only. So we need to convert it by saving. Say save as. I'll save it on desktop only again. I'll give it a name as form 2 or bridge only. You have to change the extension here. I'll save it as form tool, file format SLDFTP and form tool. So it is been saved at desktop. Name is given and type also given. And now we'll go for the part on which we have to apply the form tool. I'll restore this size. So now we will apply the bridge over here. I'll restore the screen. You can see on desktop this bridge part has been saved. I'll drag this part and apply on the face. Maximize the screen. Change the orientation by angle. Flip the required side. I want it to be applied externally. Then position the part here. Say smart dimension. And apply the required position. I'll say it 50 mm from the side. And say OK again. And now you can see this bridge shape is been applied by using form tool here. So this was form tool command. In this way you can apply form tools of different shapes and sizes by customizing the sizes and apply by using form tool option. You just need to keep two notes in mind. First, we have to take this fillet compulsory, and that fillet size should always be greater than the thickness. Second, you have to save it as a save as file as form tool only. Then only it will be applied as a form tool. If you save it as a save part, then it will not apply as a form tool there. So we'll continue with gusset command next. So the next part we are going to see here is sheet metal gusset. Gussets are nothing but ribs which are provided to support the two perpendicular faces in sheet metal. For that we are going to go for this command sheet metal gusset. Select the required faces for the position of the gusset. You can see here, I'll show you the images first. So you can see between these two flanges, one gusset is being provided for the support. You can see here also in this part, these are the sheet metal gussets. There are some more parts here. You can see on this parts also. On this bracket also gusset is being provided. So to start with gusset, select the command. Select the two perpendicular faces and gusset will appear there. It will take the offset distance of 50 mm. So the references for the distance will be this end point. You can see this point is been highlighted here. So the distance has been carried out from this point to center of the gussets. For sizes, I will provide the indent depth. It means the overall depth or size. I'll take it as 15 mm. So this indent depth is nothing but the overall depth. It means that the vertical and horizontal distances will be common here. Suppose I am taking it 15 mm. I'll say 20 mm. You can see overall size has been increased here. Suppose if you want to provide individual dimensions, then you can go for profile dimensions option. And here you can provide the individual dimensions for D1, D2 and angle. So I'll take this dimension as 25 here. On the other side also 25. Next, the shape of the front face. If I want, I'll take it rounded gusset. If I want flat, I'll go for this option. That is flat gusset. If you are taking a flat gusset, then edge fillets are must here. And suppose if you are going for round gusset, this option will automatically disappear. You can see. Next is indent width. This width option. Suppose I want this width of the gusset to be taken as 10 mm. So you can see the change here. Thickness I will keep it as it is. That is 1.5. Thickness should not be changed here. It should be taken as of the part thickness only. Then there is option for side face draft. You can see these two side faces are being drafted here by 2 degrees. If you want to change the value, I'll say 5 degrees here. So you can see here, now the angle between two faces is 5 degrees. Draft angle is being provided, it is because the operation to provide the gusset is similar of forming tool only. So at the time of punching the part and making this gusset, I'll say it OK and show you. So when you punch this part, to withdraw the die which we have punched to make this cavity, if the die does not have any fillets or tapered angle, it may damage the part here and may create cracks here or cut the part, as it is a thin sheet metal part only. That's why drafted faces are being provided for the easy withdrawal of the tool or die. We'll go on sheet metal gusset, say edit feature, provide the inner corner fillets. We have provided the inner corner fillets here. You can see in full preview. This option will show the complete preview which is going to come on the part. So we are having inner side fillets. We just need to provide outer fillet here. I'll put on this option also. So there are outer fillets also now been provided. If you want to show this gusset in flat pattern, then put on these options. Override documents and show profile, show center. Then only the gusset profile will be visible in flat pattern, or else it will not show in flat pattern. Say it okay then. Now this gusset has been provided. If I want to flatten this, I'll show it in flatten view. So this was gusset option. Same as form tool only. You just need to provide dimensions, parameters, draft angle and two faces for the references. So this was forming tool and gusset in this lecture. There are some more commands remaining for sheet metal. We'll continue in further lectures. If you want to learn the previous commands, just refer the SolidWorks playlist provided on the channel. Channel name is 4 Dimensions Infotech. Please do like, share and subscribe. Till then, thank you.